Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Pat from Laidback Languages, and in this video I'm going to be giving you 5 tips on how to stay relaxed when speaking your target language. A lot of people get nervous when speaking their target language, and this is a completely normal and natural reaction to being in a situation in which you're speaking a language that isn't your own. You're at a huge disadvantage. You don't know a lot of words. You might not be able to understand everything the other person is saying to you. You're in a very uncertain position. So this obviously brings up a lot of nervous feelings of anxiety, which are not great if you want to learn a language. Ideally, you want to be in a very relaxed state when learning. So I'm going to be giving you 5 tips on how you can achieve that state. Tip number 1. Breathe. Breathing is very important when controlling feelings of anxiety and nervousness. When you breathe, you'll find you'll naturally end up speaking a bit slower, and this is another thing which is very important to do if you want to help control your nerves when you're speaking your target language. We often rush when we're speaking a foreign language, and we try to say everything that's on our mind or jump into a conversation. But what you want to try to do once you've got the other person's attention and they're listening is actually slow down and speak with more purpose. I know when you're thinking of a word, you can't remember a word, and you spend maybe 1 or 2 seconds looking for that word or trying to remember it. It feels like an eternity, but trust me, for the other person listening, those 2 seconds do not feel as long as they do in your experience. Time goes a lot slower when you're in a panic state and you're thinking, oh my god, I don't know how to say that word, how do I say it? And then either you end up rushing and saying blah blah blah, babbling, or you end up avoiding speaking about that subject. You just decide to talk about something different. But if you slow down, breathe, you'll give your brain a much better chance of remembering words, and the conversation will go very, very smoothly. Tip number 2 is focus on what the other person is saying. A lot of the times we can get stuck inside of our heads thinking, oh, have I said that right? I'm just not really sure how to say this word, so I'm not going to say it. What if the person thinks I'm stupid? Stop focusing on yourself. Go into the conversation thinking about the other person and just concentrate on what the other person is saying. Don't even worry about what you're going to reply. Treat the situation as if it were like a mini therapy session for the person you're speaking to. Listen to them, try to paraphrase what they're saying, use the words they've used about them so that they feel heard and listened. And by just doing this, you'll take the pressure off of yourself. Which brings me on to tip number 3, which is ask more questions. A good way to take your own attention off of yourself and how well you're speaking or whatever, is to ask the other person questions. We forget to do this when we're speaking a foreign language, just because of the attention we have to put on what we're saying. We almost forget that we're in a conversation with another human being. So if you feel that you're very nervous going into a conversation or a situation with a person and you're putting pressure on yourself and worrying about what you're saying, ask them questions. Make it like an interview, really. Ask them about their interest, what their hobbies are, how long they've been learning your language, maybe if you're English and they're learning English, or whatever the question is. Start off the conversation by you asking them questions, and that will take the pressure off, and naturally you'll have a conversation. They will ask you questions, but you'll have already started and you'll be into a flow, and you won't worry about what you're saying. Tip number 4, frame the situation differently. So you're going into a class or you're going into a conversation with a native speaker. Frame it differently. At the moment, maybe you're going in to the lesson thinking, I have to remember all of these words and I am speaking the language. No, it's not you that's doing it, it's your brain. Your job is to facilitate your brain's learning. And how better to do that than by being relaxed? That's when your brain will learn best, and it will remember words, and you'll find once you're in a relaxed state, words will come to you. You'll think, oh, how do I say that word? And it will come to you. Self-correcting is much easier as well. You'll find yourself speaking and you might make a mistake, but instead of getting flustered about that mistake, you'll realize you've made the mistake and you'll self-correct. This is a sign of a really independent language learner, and it's super important to be able to do this skill if you are to progress on your language learning journey. And the last tip on how to be more relaxed when speaking your target language is to smile. Just smile. If you're feeling nervous and anxious, go into the situation with a big grin on your face, and you'll find that the energy of nervousness or excitement is actually very similar. And in this way, you're almost tricking yourself to feel not nervous, but I'm actually really excited. I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited to be speaking a foreign language. I mean, it's super cool, and I have this opportunity to speak and to practice and to learn. So let's get into it. So there we are. Those are my 5 tips on how to remain relaxed and calm when speaking your target language. If you found these useful, please like the video, subscribe, turn on bell notifications so you know the next time I post a video, you'll get a little notification. And if you want to find me on social media, I'll leave the links down below, as well as a link to a 15-minute consultation if you are interested in learning French, Spanish, Italian or Brazilian Portuguese. Just click on that, book a meeting with me, it's completely free, and we can talk about how we can make that happen for you. Until next time, ciao.